Welcome to Earshot, Jaya. How are you?
Thanks, Sonakshi. I'm doing good. First and foremost, sorry guys for the last time I had to abruptly cut short the show because of Ganpati Visarjan. There was too much of a chaos happening in the background, so we couldn't go continue with our session. So hopefully today's session will go properly, and we'll be able to clear all your doubts and answer all your queries.
Absolutely no issues. So, can we pick up from the last time we left off? I think we left off at intermittent fasting. We had discussed keto diet. So, if we can
Yes.
just brush up a little about the keto diet again for our
Sure,
listeners.
sure, sure, sure. Yeah. So last time we were talking about, which diet is the best for me, and we had started talking about different kind of diets. So the first one was keto. So if I just have to, kind of brush up, so keto diet is basically wherein your body is using fat for energy. Normally, our bodies use glucose for energy, but when we start following a keto diet, your body starts using fat for energy. So that's wherein your fats, when they break down in your body, the byproducts are called as ketones. So that's why it's called the keto diet. Your body starts metabolizing fat instead of using glucose for energy, and you start burning fat for all your energy purposes. The calories from the fat are used and not from carbohydrates. So in this kind of a diet, you are, consuming lots of fat, saturated and unsaturated. So you are on a diet which has lots of butter, lots of cheese, lots of cream, and you practically go on a zero carb diet wherein you can't consume rotis, your regular wheat rotis. There's no rice, there's no potatoes. So it's majorly a fat-based diet wherein you consume a very good amount of protein also. Like, it's all calculated and given to you. So you're having, if you're a meat eater, it's very easy because you can have different kinds of fish and chicken, and your red meat is also allowed. So it's very easy for a non-vegetarian to follow this diet. But yes, a lot of vegetarians also are switching over to a keto diet wherein you can have paneer, you can have tofu, you can have different kinds of cheese. But yeah, our Indian proteins like your dals and sprouts and everything are not recommended to a large extent because they do have certain amount of complex carbohydrates in them. So the vegetables also which we recommend in a keto diet are mostly, your green leafy vegetables, your salad veggies. You can't have any root vegetables because anything which has even 1% of carbohydrate in it is not recommended, because then you go off the diet. Your body does not go into the ketosis phase wherein it's using, fat for all its energy purposes. So you should be, very, very careful when you are following a keto diet. So when you start off with this diet, your body goes into a keto fever, and you start experiencing flu-like symptoms. And then within 2, 3 days, you tend to normalize, and your body goes into the keto phase, and you start losing weight. So that's how a keto diet goes about.
I think the
And
last time we
then,
discussed also how the fatty, if we keep having fatty foods, how is this going to help
yeah.
exactly? So, how is this? Yes. Yeah.
Hello. Yeah, Sonakshi.
Yeah, so the last time I think we discussed about this, how the fatty foods are going to help with the diet plan.
See, this diet plan is entirely based on fatty foods only. You cannot consume anything else. These fatty foods, like let's say, for example, I had, given a sample diet wherein your breakfast is, your 2 eggs with some cheese, and your lunch is, a slice of chicken or a slice of fish, or you have some red meat, and your dinner is also very similar to your lunch, wherein you're consuming a lot of non-vegetarian food, or you're consuming paneer along with certain leafy and salad vegetables which are cooked in decent amount of butter, or oils like olive oil or your coconut oil, those kind of things. So it has to be done that way. Otherwise, it will not give you the required amount of result. What we are, looking at when following a keto diet. But as I had discussed last time also, See, this keto diet was initially in the early 1920s, started by doctors and scientists for these patients suffering from cerebral palsy and seizures. So, studies have shown that when they were consuming a diet high in saturated and unsaturated fat or fatty acids, they were responding better to treatments. Now, why this was happening to this day, there's no, concrete evidence or any proof as per the studies. But yes, the response was really nice. And to this day, doctors do recommend this kind of a diet to people suffering from these kind of issues. So when, the doctors and the nutritionists saw the response being that good, a lot of people, started following this diet. But from the time this diet has been followed by a lot of people in India, they aren't doing it to the T. Now, the thing is, when this kind of a diet is recommended, the doctors first and foremost tell you to undergo a series of blood tests. They look at your cholesterol levels. They look at your, they tell you to get a liver profile done, like a lipid profile done, a kidney
I think
profile
that's for
done.
any
They look
diet plan that you decide to follow, yes?
Yeah, see, that's there, but especially when you follow these kind of diets wherein, you are either consuming a lot of proteins and lot of fats, you need to be very, very careful. Now, for example, if somebody who has very high cholesterol levels or who has very high triglycerides and who has the LDL cholesterol, through the roof, that is the bad cholesterol, if they follow this kind of a diet, without any, it's not like they cannot follow, but it has to be done under a dietitian or under a health professional. So, like if you just get a keto diet because your friend is following it and you're not aware that, your body is not able to metabolize fat properly, then, it's going to have severe repercussions. So these kind of diets, you should not just blindly follow them, because a friend is doing it, or you have a lot of information on the net these days. So I feel sometimes ignorance is bliss, because too much knowledge these days is getting a little dangerous. People don't understand as to what is good for them. It's like self-medicating. Following these diets is like self-medicating. Ki, theek hai, mera gala kharab hai. Let me take an antibiotic on my own. I don't need to see a doctor. So these kind of diets are just like taking medicines. So please don't follow these diets randomly. If your friend is doing it or if a relative is doing it, please see a health professional, do it under their guidance, and you will surely get results.
Is it safe to say that this diet is a easier journey for the non-vegetarians rather than the vegetarians?
Of course, of course. See, this diet was mostly followed by people in the US and Europe. It's entered India, let's say, around 5, 6 years ago. And I don't know, I should be saying this on the media or no, but see, what's happened is, we blindly follow celebrities. Their lifestyle is very different, and I really wanted to discuss this today. Is because, see, the kind of things they do, they are always under some health professional. You'll always see, a lot of, these A-line actors and actresses, their dietitians also going on their tours and, traveling with them. And their diets are specifically designed, keeping in mind their workout regime and everything. So just because you hear a celebrity is doing a keto diet, or if he or she is following an intermittent fasting, we just blindly. So a diet is not a keto diet or a IMF diet. It's either a Deepika diet or a Kareena diet or a Katrina diet, or a Hrithik Roshan diet. So we are so blindly following celebrities. We want to be like them, we want our bodies to be like them. We are just, so much in awe of them that we don't look inside ourselves. Our lifestyles are very, very different. So, like a basic homemaker or a housewife, or, like somebody who has a 9 to 5 job, you can't be, doing these kind of diets because your pattern, your lifestyles are very different compared to theirs. They have to be always looking good on the screen. It's their profession, guys. They have to be like that. And if you actually talk to them, I have consulted quite a few of them. They keep telling, Jaya, it's so much of a stress to be always looking good, to be always, it's like eating a pani puri is like a dream, I mean, okay, you can't be eating this, you can't be eating that. Guys, their life is much more tougher than us. So, let's stop, just copying them randomly, saying, okay, if she's following this diet, it's good. And I have never seen any celebrity, kind of propagating or, promoting any kind of a diet. In fact, they tell you to, eat healthy, They tell you to follow the right guidelines, and they give you the right tips if we understand it. So please, guys, don't just randomly follow any diet. And you surely in the coming years, in your future, you're going to be having severe side effects and a lot of issues relating to your health if you just randomly follow any diet like that.
Now, talking about celebrities, I think many people have, I don't know how this is beneficial or not, you would be able to clear the air. What about protein supplements? Are they
Uh,
beneficial?
See, again, protein supplements, I can keep going on. I think, if we have 5 sessions also, we won't be able to solve all the queries. So there's so much knowledge to be shared. Okay, now let me just say, understand supplements means support. That's what the word means. So no supplement can take the place of food which you're eating. So before you start a supplement, understand that it's going to support the food which you're eating. So a doctor will not tell you ki stop eating green vegetables, just pop in 10 vitamin pills and you'll be sorted. It doesn't work that way. Second thing one needs to know is your body absorbs nutrients faster when it is from food rather than a vitamin or a mineral tablet. Now, simple example, if you take a calcium supplement, your body is going to take only 40% of it. The remaining 60% is thrown off, from the body. Whereas if you eat a banana, or you're drinking a glass of milk, or you consume certain foods which are rich in calcium, you will see the body is absorbing almost 95 to 100% of it. So try and understand that supplements are for support. Now coming to protein supplements. So if you are somebody who's working out, who goes to the gym regularly, who's strength training, and especially for vegetarians, see, it's not possible for us to consume so much protein because we need to understand that body can store carbohydrates, your body can store fats, but your body cannot store proteins as proteins in your body. So if you consume any extra protein in your diet, whether it is in the form of a supplement or food, the body will throw it off. So that's the reason, when we take a supplement, we have to take it calculating your requirement. Now, a normal person needs almost zero 0.8 to 1 gram per kg body weight. So let's say if you are 70 kilos, so you need to have anywhere between 65 to 70 grams of protein on a daily basis. Okay. And if you are, somebody who's really working out 2 hours a day, or if you are a bodybuilder, or if you're somebody, who's, let's say, in an
The
industry
job
where
commands it,
you
maybe,
need
yeah.
to be, yeah. So depending on that, you increase your protein intake. But otherwise, on a daily basis, if you are, 60 kilos, you can consume anywhere around 50 to 55 grams of protein per, gram per kg body weight. So, but what happens is, how much dal can you eat? How much pulses can we eat? This especially is for people who are working out. Let's say you work out 45 minutes a day, whether you are doing intense yoga or you're going to the gym. So if your body is not able to fulfill your protein needs, that's when, a supplement comes into play. So you start with a basic, a supplement like a whey protein. So depending on, how much you're working out and how many calories are you burning, and again, how much protein are you consuming from your food. So if you are eating enough protein, then you don't need a supplement. But if you aren't consuming as much, and if your workout is much more, it's very intense, then you can start off with a basic protein supplement. We have too many in the market these days. We have one specially for vegans, it's special for diabetics, or for any kind of requirement. You do have a lot of protein supplements, and yes, they do not harm you because after hearing about a lot of celebrities battling a lot of issues, this kind of fear has come into people. And I do have a lot of mothers, when I consult teenagers, all teenagers are super excited. I want a protein shake, I want a body like Hrithik Roshan, or, Salman Khan, or Akshay Kumar, etc. So they're like, they want to take supplements randomly. So you can take supplements. Protein supplements are very healthy. Protein shakes are healthy. But again, please calculate the amount of protein, see a health professional, get your diet chart chalked out, and then start off. And let me tell this to all these mothers who are worried that, the moment you start a protein supplement, kidneys pe stress padega, our kidneys flush out. They're super duper organs, guys. I mean, if everything is done in moderation, they can, really work wonderfully. So taking a protein shake on a daily basis is not going to put any stress on your kidneys. It puts, lesser stress than consuming a glass of alcohol on a daily basis. So don't worry about it. Protein supplements taken the right way under the right guidance are very healthy. But again, I am not here recommending any any steroids or any cocktails of those sorts, any BMR boosters. We're just talking about pure protein shakes like your whey protein, your casein proteins. Those are very good. Again, if you are working out, if you need it. Otherwise, I do recommend, I don't know, in quite a few of my podcast series, I have spoken about sattu. It's going to be the new superfood in the coming years. It's our roasted, Bengal gram or chana dal atta, and it's a very good source of protein. So if you can't source out whey protein, you don't want to consume whey protein, you can make a sattu shake using some curds in it or some almond milk in it, and your protein shake is ready. So you can make protein powders at home also. So
Okay. So quickly
yeah.
jumping to the next diet plan. What about intermittent dieting? Can we talk a
Okay.
little bit about that?
Okay, so intermittent fasting. Basically, it's like you break your diet into two windows, the fasting window and the non-fasting window. So it's like you eat 8 hours. So that's how it goes. Out of 24 hours, 8 hours you eat, 16 hours you're fasting. So you can select any 8 hours which is comfortable to you, in which you are consuming your meals. So for example, if I am starting at 9 in the morning, so I finish off my diet, my food maximum by 5 o'clock. I don't consume anything by after 5 o'clock. So you are only on water post 5, or you can have green tea, or you can have black coffee, anything which does not have any calories, like a 0-calorie food. So you can have water with lime. So you can eat between 9 to 5, whatever you want to. And then you're fasting. So that's what it means by intermittent fasting. And there's a very good book which is there by a Dr. Dixit. A lot of people are reading his book and following this diet. Now, unfortunately, what happens is people don't read the entire book. People are just reading the diet and they're following the diet. Try to understand what he's written about. What concept this diet is based on. It's basically based on insulin resistance. You are trying to trick your body into controlling the production of insulin, so that there's not enough, this less sugar floating inside your blood. That's what it is. We are trying to control our blood sugar. Insulin is a hormone which is secreted by your pancreas to break down the sugars in your blood. So if you don't eat for a long time, your body controls the production of insulin, thereby controlling your blood sugar levels. So it's like the more you eat, the more hungry you are. So it works on that concept. So if you're fasting, the insulin production is less, blood glucose is less, and that's how your appetite comes under control. So it's based on that concept. And if you actually look at it, our Indian way of eating, like we won't eat post sunset. Our meals would get over by 6:30, and next day in the morning we get up at 5 o'clock, and that's when we would start. So if you follow even this concept, if not completely following an IMF, you can still see results. The dinner has to be earlier. Now again, before we really follow an IMF diet, we need to understand one more thing. What kind of a lifestyle do you have? If you are somebody whose work is going on till 11 in the night, 10 in the night, 9 in the night, then you shouldn't be following this diet, because see, you're using your brain, you're sitting in front of the computer, or what kind of a work profile you have. So if you are, then it's not practical. So look at your lifestyle and then you can design the diet. Like you can do an IMF, then you start at 12 and you go up to 8, depending on, so you can not necessarily you do an 8 and a 16-hour window. You can do a 10 and a 14-hour window. You can slowly start off, and then you can, do it. But again, this kind of diet is not recommended for people who suffer from hyperacidity or who suffer from certain gastric disorders, or if you're someone who's on heavy medication for any particular thing, like, if you are on your cholesterol meds, or especially, see, again, there are certain diabetics who have followed these diet and seen good results. But if you're a heavy diabetic, please don't do it, because you need to be taking your medications. You need to be taking your insulin meds. You need to be taking your insulin shots. So if you're not eating anything, it's going to have, a massive side effect wherein your blood sugar will drop, or you might go into a, like a cardiac arrest. So don't just follow an IMF diet because somebody else is doing it. You want to follow it, fair enough. See your doctor, ask them, take their recommendations, see a nutritionist, and then start off the diet.
So can we compare the two? Is it right to compare the two diet plans? Which is better, keto or intermittent?
No,
Because these are the
no, no,
most
no.
popular ones.
Yeah, these are the most popular ones. See, they're based on completely opposite concepts. One is like a high fat, high protein based diet. The other is, it works on insulin resistance. So you can't say which is good, which is bad. Both are good in their own ways. Both have their own disadvantages. And again, I'm stressing both should be followed under the guidance of a health professional. Please don't randomly follow any diets just because someone else is doing it.
And what can we say, like for example, if we are doing intermittent fasting or we're doing the keto one, uh,
Hmm.
is cutting down carbohydrates the solution?
Okay, I don't know how many of you all will agree with me, but guys, poor carbohydrates have come under so much, scam, and
Fire, yeah.
rice and roti. Yeah,
Right.
seriously, rice and roti are, the demons these days, like they become the devils incarnate. So, guys, there's nothing wrong in eating rice. There's nothing wrong in eating. Again, see, the kind of wheat which we get these days, yes, it's a hybrid variety. It's nothing what we used to eat 20, 30 years ago. But to be very honest with you, like I have every second person whom I come across. I am on a gluten-free diet. And when I ask them,
Hmm.
do you know what is gluten? They just look at
Yeah.
me. But I am just following a gluten-free diet. Tell me what is gluten first. Understand what is gluten. Are you gluten sensitive? Do you have an allergy to gluten? Or, is your body showing any, reactions to gluten? Then start a gluten-free diet. But why, suddenly out of nowhere, people have given up their rotis and people have given up their rice. Guys, carbohydrates are really good. They are, our major sources of energy. But again, as I said, every food has to be eaten in moderation. You can consume rice in the night, you can consume roti in the night, but again, try and consume meals as early as possible, because for no rhyme or reason, it's easy for digestion. Now, when we say we should eat dinner early, it's always good to ask questions. Why should I eat dinner early? What difference is it going to make if I eat dinner early? So, when you eat dinner early, you're giving your digestive system enough time to flush out all the toxins, to digest the food properly. And when we are sleeping, as the body is rebuilding itself, it's refurbishing itself, it's trying to be preparing itself for the battle next day. So you're just giving body some rest. So that's why we say eat dinner early, so that you have enough time for the food to digest before you sleep, and your muscles are relaxed. And as they say, your skin is building up, and your hair is building up, your muscles are building up. So similarly, your digestive system also needs to catch up again. So flushing out the toxins, digestion becomes easier. That's the reason we recommend to eat a meal early, or we recommend intermittent fasting, or we say fast once a week, or go on a juice diet, or consume a lot of vegetables for a day, or eat fruits for a day. So it's for that purpose that you're giving your digestive tract a break. Because when I was working in with quite a few nutritionists before, and so we used to say that we give rest to every other organ, and everybody is so overwhelmed by the heart and by the brain. You have cardiologists and you have neurologists, but believe me guys, it's your digestive system which takes the maximum brunt in your entire body. Poor old tummy. Whatever goes wrong, we go to the doctor, cholesterol ka problem hai, we go to the heart specialist, we go to every possible person. But I mean, unfortunately, a lot of doctors now these days, doctors are, paying a lot of importance to the diet. But initially, okay, ठीक है, आप, cholesterol की tablet खा लो, ठीक हो जाएगा. But क्यों cholesterol बढ़ा है? What is happening? आपका stomach क्यों नहीं digest कर पा रहा है? क्योंकि आप उसको बहुत torture कर रहे हो. You are giving too much to your poor little tummy. तो आप थोड़ा break दो उसको. Then, you look at the heart and you look at everything else. So everything starts off with your stomach and ends with your stomach. So please, kind of respect it. give it, that place which it deserves in our entire life. And once you're, that's the reason, if you look at our yogic practices, the most important part is your core. That's where your, stomach is. And they say that your energy, everything is concentrated there. So if that is strong, your entire body is strong. So, we need to understand, go back into those practices and start respecting our digestive system. And none of us will be battling any of these issues of, cholesterol problems or kidney problems or whatever, medical issues which we are facing.
So basically, when you say you have your dinner early, it means that before hitting the bed, at least 3-4 hours or 2-3 hours before.
3-4 hours. 2-3 hours at least,
hours.
Let's say if your bedtime is 11, try to finish your dinner by 8. And I'm not saying that, you can't go out or you can't meet your friends or anything of that sort. Occasionally, yes, it's okay. Yeah, that's a cheat day. So all of us are allowed a cheat day. So it's okay to cheat. But yeah, a regular practice should be Monday to Friday. You should be trying to finish your meal early because one needs to understand that if your digestion is complete, then only your mind will be at ease and you'll be able to sleep. So, when I'm consulting people who have, anxiety issues or who have insomnia, you're not able to sleep, the first question I ask them is, what time do you eat your dinner? So, it's quite possible your body is producing a lot of acids, which is not letting you sleep. So, try and understand, the problem. So, that's what it is. At least 3 hours gap between your bedtime and your dinner will, kind of help you in digestion. It will keep your body lighter.
Okay, so the last question, what about low carb dieting? This is I think the next popular thing, if I'm not wrong.
So you have low carb or, the zero carb also. Again, low carb, zero carb, these are, you can say modified versions of your keto and IMF, but these were the ones which were very popular 8 to 10 years ago, wherein people would count the amount of carbohydrates they were consuming. So ideally speaking, if let's say a person is following, consuming 1600 calories per day. So initially 50 to 60%, that's what, when I studied, we were taught that your 70% should come from your carbohydrates and 20% should come from your proteins and 10% should come from your fat. Imagine 70% of your diet is carbohydrates. So when I say carbohydrates, does not mean only rice and roti. It means your fruits, it means your vegetables. All these things are also carbohydrates only. So, but now it's exactly opposite. People are consuming 20%, 10%. So that's what a low carbohydrate diet means, wherein you are consuming only 10% or 15%.
I think that happened because the low carb diet did not have like a time foundation to it, if I'm not wrong. Like all the other diets, even the keto one, the intermittent one, they have a foundation, they have a limitation with time. So I think this one didn't, which is why you could eat everything but balance it out.
Yeah, so, and I think, a low carb diet is any day much better. Because one, you are consuming your carbohydrates, because one needs to understand that we can't be doing IMF. See, now in an IMF diet also, you're not going off carbs. You can eat carbs. You are allowed your roti, you are allowed your rice. You can eat, of course, they tell you shouldn't be consuming fried foods and, a lot of refined foods, refined sugar, but you can eat your roti, you can eat your rice. So IMF is not a zero carb diet. It's your regular diet, just cutting out, the junk and everything from your diet. Whereas a low carb diet is one wherein you're just consuming, 10% or 15%. And yes, it does not have a time foundation, but it is still any day better than doing a zero carb diet. And since we are on this topic, let me just say one thing, guys. We all need to understand the calories are important, the number of calories are important, but more than that, where do they come from is very important. It's much more important than anything else. So carbohydrates are not the devils here. Which carbohydrates are you eating is very, very important. So if you're eating a lot of fruits, if you're eating a lot of vegetables, if you're eating complex carbohydrates like your jawar, your bajri,
Mm.
your nachni, and your rice in a small quantities or in the required quantities, it's very healthy. So which kind of carbohydrates are more important than how much carbohydrates? So
Right.
pay attention on that rather than going on a low carb diet. Go on a
Mm.
complex carb diet. Like, if you have a jawar roti instead of a wheat roti, or, you can just combine, jawar and wheat, or, if you can't digest jawar, that is. So, it'll control your blood sugar levels. It's high fiber, and you aren't even eating too much.
Mm.
Although, like a lot of people ask me, ki jawar has more calories. Yes, it has more
Yes.
calories,
Yeah.
but it has almost, 50% more fiber than your regular wheat roti. So instead of
Mm.
eating three rotis, you're just eating one roti, and you are also feeling, fuller. It's easy for the gut. It's easy for digestion. You won't have any constipation issues. So yes.
Right.
So instead of a low carb diet, follow a complex carb diet. It's much more better.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jaya, for this insightful knowledge. This is lovely, lovely talking to you.
Same here. I hope, all of your queries have been answered. And guys, there are, quite a few podcast series in which
Mm.
we have shared a lot of information. Do watch those, and you have any queries, you can send it to us. We'll be very happy to answer
Absolutely.
them. And any particular requests on any topics you want us to be, doing live in future, we would really be, happy to oblige and, kind of solve or understand what your requirements are, and give the right information and help you out. So pleasure being here. Stay safe. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jaya.
Welcome. My
Bye,
pleasure.
Jaya.
Bye. Bye. See you so much.